In 2020, Vika and Linda Bull had their most productive year. There's the recent Anthology, their fun Sunday sessions, and now an album of homemade gospel songs from those sessions. And here they are. Vika and Linda, welcome to noise11.com. Can I refer to you two as the two most hard-working people in showbiz at the moment, because this COVID thing's come along and you've just, taken the ball and ran with it. I mean, talk about being served lemons and turning it into lemonade. Congratulations on 2020, I can finally say to somebody.
Thank you, Paul. Yes, we even though it's been two lockdowns, especially in Melbourne, really, it's been particularly hard, the second one. But it's been good for us, doing Sunday Sing Song and putting out our anthology and then making a gospel record. So we just thought, we can't do much, so we've got to do something to keep our sanity, which is why we started the Sunday Sing Song when the first lockdown happened in March, and all our gigs were cancelled. Our manager said to us, why don't you sing a song on Sunday morning, sing a gospel song? We thought, okay, let's whack up a song. So we just did Sister Rosetta Tharp's Up Above My Head, because we've been singing that for a long time, and thought, because we weren't really, we didn't really use social media much prior to lockdown. We didn't put concert, never posted anything, really didn't look at it, didn't really, we were pretty hopeless. And Lisa put it up for us. And we thought, the family in Tonga will see it, and because Tongans are great Facebookers. And then, all of a sudden, all these comments started flowing in and people were really nice to us and they really enjoyed it. I said, we'll do it again next week. And that's how it all started, really. That got the ball rolling.
Linda, let me ask you this then, because we went for years, like more than a decade, without a Vika and Linda album. Suddenly, everything old is new again. We've got the compilation out there, and from nowhere, from being locked down in March and doing these performances, this has generated into another Vika and Linda album. This is your most productive year ever.
Yes, I know. We can't quite believe it or understand it, but I think we're wrapped because we always wanted to have a creative run like this. It's just we're always sort of doing other things, and so the lockdown has forced us to kind of sit down and focus on our own music. Really, that's what happened. And I wouldn't think we'd be making 2 records, maybe 3 records in 1 year, but that's what's happened.
Vika, with the back catalogue, that had been unavailable for a long, long time. Why was that? It was just like sitting in storage somewhere, was it? How did that conversation start up that, hey, maybe we should go and get this back out again?
It was Lisa Palermo, our manager, and our record company Bloodlines, and they came to us and said, we want you to make a best of, and they got everything together, and because nothing was available online. You're right, we were in a hell of a mess. We were like, we didn't know how to do it. We had it all sitting there. We just didn't know how to go about it. We needed help. And that's when the record company stepped in and got it all, they neatened it all up. They put it out there. They did everything and then said, make a best of. And we were like, really?
They said anthology. They said anthology. They didn't say best.
Sorry, absolutely. Thank you. Make an anthology. And I thought, why? If you can get all the records, just buy all the records, and who wants to buy an anthology? But they said no. So we just went about picking the songs, and people bought it, and we were really rapt, like over the moon at the response. We couldn't quite believe it.
Linda, it's pretty funny, isn't it? That you use the terminology anthology, but anthology, greatest hits, best of. At the end of the day, it's all the same thing, isn't it?
Well, we asked the question. We said, well, what is an anthology? I remember that being one of the first questions we asked Warren at Bloodlines, and he said, well, the difference is that you choose the songs. We're not choosing them. You choose them. You choose the songs that you want to put on this collection. And I thought, well, that's great. So we're in charge. We can pick the songs, obscure songs that we love that maybe no one ever loved. But that's what we did. We chose the songs and we sort of wrote a list each, and then we had little lines. We went, who likes what? And they let us do that. And I thought that was very good of them to let us run with that, because they could easily have taken over and just go, nah, we don't like your choices. But they did.
Yeah, because I guess, Vika, like when we look at the anthology, we're talking about 2 CDs here. So, I mean, this really is your life's work put into 2 pieces of music. That must have been an incredible feeling when literally stuff you've been working on for 25 years, 30 years is presented in one tiny little package. How did that feel?
It felt really good. It felt like actually really like the CD and the choices we made, because it's sort of like there's a song, all our favorite songs. I mean, some we've left off, I know that,
Yeah.
but favorite songs from each record. And it's just something that people can just, 26 songs. There's lots of different styles on there because we've, done a lot, reggae, country, gospel, R&B, soul, done it all on this anthology. And I think that's just something nice, sort of like a snapshot, is that the word, of those 7 records that we made in that period. Just what do you call it, a summary.
Yeah.
I think just rather than having to trawl through everything and all the probably crappy songs we recorded. But when I go back and listen to the records now, I'm like really quite, why didn't I like that song? That song's great. It was really good to revisit the old records again. I'm glad we got to pull them out and listen to everything.
Yeah.
It was like quite an eye opener, because I was like, why was I embarrassed all those years about things that, all those years about things we've done when, it's great. And it's great because you hear how our voices have changed, and when we started, how young we were, and you can hear that in the way we sing and how green we were. And I enjoy that.
Linda, tell me about the impact of COVID this year, because we were going to see you on the APIA tour. There's the numerous Black Sorrow shows. Recent times, I saw you with Paul Kelly. I would imagine that you would have been touring a lot this year, and then suddenly weren't.
Yes, it's true. This year is looking like being one of our busiest years yet. And so if someone had have said to us that in February you're not going to work for the whole year, we would have probably laughed in their face, because it wasn't expected. So we kind of had to really quickly rethink about, oh, well, we've lost a whole year's work alongside everybody else, not just us. We knew that. So it was pretty tough to try and think, okay, now we're just going to stay home. What are we going to do? And what's going to happen? And I still think the anxiety is there for a lot of people. Where are we going to be next year? But I think the way through for Vika and I and the way we've always sort of coped with difficult times, is to do it as a family together and to just try and just keep working. So for some people, we understand they retreated, but for Vika and I, our natural thing was to go forward and just to keep going and to keep singing in whatever way we could.
Doing the ISO sessions from home, I'll throw this one at Vika. Such a diversity in musical choice in here, where you go from a gospel song through to a Simon and Garfunkel song such as Bridge Over Troubled Water. How much discussion went into the choice of song on a week-by-week basis? How were they curated?
Yeah, we sat down as a team and would discuss it after the first one we did, Up Above My Head. Then we sat down afterwards when we had a meeting. What are we going to do next week? And it was we always tried to make it uplifting or something that we, like it became, the first one, it was always something sort of to lift people up, and keep everyone positive. Second lockdown, the songs changed a bit, and it was more to do because we were doing songs from our new record, Sunday. So it was, okay, some of the songs were a little bit, okay, this is kind of like Memphis Flu, which is one of the songs on the new record. very appropriate to the times, what we're going through. And we ummed and ahed about that a lot. You know, we even ummed and ahed about it a lot, whether or not we should put it on the record, because it's so kind of raw. It was like, oh boy, this song was written in 1929 or I can't remember when it was written, but in the 30s. And it was about the Memphis flu in 1929 that went through South America and hit poor Memphis. And it's exactly what's happening to us now. And it's like, okay, should we put it on? Well, how will people like it? You know, and then will we sort of cop a lot of flack? But we ended up putting it on the record, and we ended up doing on the sing song. But so yeah, we didn't just go, oh, let's just sing whatever next week. We discussed it, and would probably take about 2 hours before we came to a mutual decision. Yeah, it was thought about carefully.
Linda, with the choice of songs, as Vic has been talking about there, I'm getting a real education about gospel music, listening to what you've done with this record, watching what you've done on Sundays. Is this all personal tastes that date back to when you were kids?
It started out that way, yeah. The music that we did in the first lockdown, the first 10 weeks, were songs that Vic and I had amassed over years. So they were just in the brain, easy to do, and songs that we sort of have released over the years. Second lot, they're all brand new. So we wanted to stretch a bit and kind of extend the repertoire a bit. But we grew up with Tongan gospel, and that singing is very different to the gospel we choose to do. Our gospel's more southern gospel from America. So it's a bit of a blend of both.
So, Vika, when you take songs like that, obviously with a gospel feel to them, but then from an occupational sense, then you're transported into a band like Black Sorrows. How do you go from the gospel into the rock band, or is it a matter of taking that influence and adding it to the rock band?
You take that influence and you add it to the rock band. That's what we've always done. Yep. It's like, you know, it's just because there's just as much passion in rock and roll music as there is in gospel. It's like, you know, it's tough, it's emotional, it's heartfelt, it's, you know, it adds even more to the rock music, I think, because of the harmony, and we got that harmony thing happening, and you know, it's powerful singing. You got to belt it out. Yeah. So to us, it's been really helpful, especially like the Tongan harmony thing. That has been incredibly helpful for me and Linda. We're so happy that we had that education as young kids, listening to that music.
Linda, had there not been coronavirus this year, had we gone on as normal, I believe there would have been finally a Vika and Linda studio album. So, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
I love it how you...
Oh, not that question again, she says.
You go, where's the record? Why?
Not our fault this time, Paul. Not our fault.
Okay. I'll do it. I'll re-ask the question, but I'll ask it the way Linda wants the question asked. Where's the bloody record?
That's it. That's what I was waiting for, Paul. It's not here yet, Paul. We're really sorry. It's coming out next year because the COVID thing slowed us down a bit. We couldn't be in the same room together, so we couldn't make that kind of record that we wanted to make.
Well, we were going in second lockdown, actually, weren't we, Lily? We were just about to go in and start. And then it was like, nah, stage 4, everyone go home. So, yeah.
All I can say is that I recall last year somebody telling me that the record was coming out next year. And now it's next year and somebody's saying it's coming out next year. So I'm not going to ask that question ever again.
You won't have to, Paul, because it's coming out next year.
There you have it.
In the meantime, we've got the ISO record, so and the Anthology, so plenty of Vika and Linda, and also that great news that the older albums on vinyl, coloured vinyl, which is pretty exciting too, with various colours as we go along.
Well, our first album's coming out on red vinyl. That's our debut album from 1994, and our recent album that we're releasing on the 11th of September is coming out on white vinyl. So Sunday, the gospel according to us, so it'll be on white vinyl. So I'll have 2 records, Paul, so don't give us a hard time, okay?
Promise. Vika and Linda Bull, it's been always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for joining us at Noise 11.
Thank you, Paul.